Good morning. All right. Today I'm going to talk about the list that I came up with that helped me to identify the things that could potentially be keeping me from sleep. And I found that if I write down the things that could be keeping me from sleep and I identify the right one, then I could potentially get a lot better sleep that will help me be more energized and more focused throughout the day and get more of what's important done. So I want to walk you through that list in this video today and identify hopefully the ones that are specific to me that could be keeping me from good restful sleep. But let's get right into that right after we roll the intro. There is no intro yet. So as a method of first approach, I wanted to figure out and investigate what it is I need to remove from my sleep habits to help me to get better sleep. And sleep, it seems like such an easy thing, such a simple thing, but it really escapes so many people. The American Sleep Institute did a study that showed that 30 to 35% of Americans self-reported that they had some sort of insomnia in their life. And so, not wanting to make this endeavor to better sleep any more difficult than it needs to be, I decided to just keep it super simple and identify the things that I think are keeping me from sleep. And so I asked myself the question, what is preventing me from sleeping every night? Super simple, right? And then I made a list. I said, what's inhibiting this sleep? And then so the list I called sleep inhibitors. And I want to show you that list that I came up with. Some of these things that are on the list, I kind of just thought up in my head, based on experience. Okay, this thing seems to be keeping me from sleep. Others came from conversations I had with people who were telling me this could be keeping you from sleep. And then others I did some research on. I wanted to make the list as long as possible. And so I started writing with what I knew, and then once I got to a certain point where I couldn't think of any more, then I started going online and looking for, what could potentially be preventing me from sleep that I didn't already know of. Yeah, so it's super simple, like I said. Like, here's the list. It's called sleep inhibitors. I say subtract these things, right? So far I have a list of 22, and some I observed in passing and I wanted to investigate more, like caffeine and alcohol. And others I, didn't really know so much about. Like, for instance, number 12 here, drinking liquids too close to bed. I didn't really think of that one. But that makes 100% sense. If you drink too close to bed, then you're going to have to go urinate in the middle of the night. And that is also one that I have experienced where I'll wake up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom, and I didn't even think to add it to the list. So, investigating was definitely worth it. So far, I've come up with a list of 22 things that inhibit sleep. I call them sleep inhibitors. I also wrote down a list of things that help sleep and that I should add to my sleep routine, if you will, and I call those sleep inducers, and I wrote a list for that as well. And I'm going to make a video about that as well. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can know when that video is going to come out. Now, the reason that I'm starting with this video over the sleep inducers videos, there's a theory out there that removing bad habits is easier than adding good habits, which is particularly true for sleep because there's so many things that if I just stopped doing them, for instance, like drinking caffeine too close to bedtime, it would improve my sleep drastically. But the key here is not just to stop doing something, because that'll probably fizzle out over time and then I'll just backslide back into the bad habit. But what I want to do is identify the trigger that leads to the bad habit and then cut that out, and so that then I'm not even getting to the bad habit, I'm stopping before the bad habit even happens, and that'll lead to a stronger motivation. In this case, I feel motivated to complete this self-study in sleep for Sleep Shifu, and I feel a sense of a need to complete these habits. So that's where I'm starting with this list of 22 sleep inhibitors. Now, I'm not going to do them all at once. That would be too much. So I'm going to do it all in bite-sized chunks, so one at a time. Every week I'll try to remove one sleep inhibitor, and then I'll document it. What I'll do is I'll make a video every week explaining the sleep inhibitor that I removed and what it's been like for me and my experience in removing that bad habit. And then I'll share it with you, so hopefully you can learn from the lessons that I learned and maybe apply it to your own sleep journey to improve your own sleep. So depending on the outcome of the week-long test where I remove one sleep inhibitor in that week, I might decide to keep it as a part of my new sleep routine or just ditch it as ineffective. And my goal is to develop a list of the best sleep inhibitors to remove, so that then I can know, all right, these are the ones that actually make an impact, and then these are the ones that are just not so important. My observation about masters and shifus is that they oftentimes remove twice as many things as they add, and so I want to be an expert at removing things in my life that aren't healthy, which for some of these things I can already tell you is going to be an extreme lesson in discipline. There seems to be some second order benefits to adjusting my life for better sleep hygiene. It might just lead to a better life. All right, so back to the list. The list is a living list. Right now I have 22 items on the list of things to, that are sleep inhibitors. But I'd like to add more, because I'm sure there's more than 22 things that prevent me from sleeping well at night, specifically my sleep, but just in general. So I want to, as I come across more, add to the list. I'm also giving access to this list publicly, because I really think it'll benefit you to kind of go down the list and identify which ones might be areas of focus for you to remove from your life, so you can have access to this list of sleep inhibitors. Now, if there's something that's not on the list that you think would benefit to add to the list, just drop a comment on this video and I will update the list based on what you recommend. So if you want access to the list, I'll drop a link in the description so that you can have access to it. Now, if you want to just customize the list on your own, you can just click on the link. It's a Google Doc, and then you can make a copy of it on your own and then adjust the copy. It's just you won't be able to edit the kind of master document, but you can make a copy and then edit it for yourself. Alright, so that's it for this video. Here's to removing those pesky sleep problems, and remember to drink responsibly. Your sleep depends on it.